All right, and we're live. We're going to be doing a four tabling session on Betfair today with my student Christian, also known as Mr. Joker. Christian, just tell the guys a little bit about yourself, your experience with poker, how you found the game, what you like about it.
Well, I started out playing at the low limits, found it pretty interesting, but I was not that good at it. Um, but still, I made some money in the start and thought this was pretty fun, so I went up to the higher levels and got some tough experience, losing a lot of money there, and then I sort of trying to study a bit more of poker, learning um, how to play profitable, and it's a hard way, but we'll give it a shot. And then I found grips.com, and yeah, and now I'm trying this. So I'm playing cash games. I'm playing tournaments. I'm playing heads up. I'm playing pretty lot of different things. So I'm
Okay,
getting experience from a lot of things.
okay, that's good. And you're playing the sit and goes as well as the multi-table tournaments.
Yeah, most likely the show tables, the six players sit and goes, but sometimes the multi table too.
Yeah, those sit and goes are a great place to build up the bankroll in the beginning. I find them like to be pretty soft. How would you
Yeah,
describe your style?
um, I think this icon says a lot. I think I'm still a bit loose, aggressive, kind of maybe going into too many pots. Yeah,
Okay.
um, but pretty solid too. But maybe seeing too many flops.
Yeah.
I think that's the only problem.
Okay. But and like when you see a lot of flops though, I'm sure you do a good job of trying to outplay your opponents, right? You don't just play,
Yeah,
you know.
I know pretty much about poker since I read a lot about it and tried to figure out how to play best. Also with this loose aggressive style, knowing when to slow down. Because if you don't slow down with this style, you will really get stuck.
Yeah.
But it can be good because people will pay you off more often. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I know the feeling from playing against a lot of loose aggressive opponents, even if they're just doing like a couple things like three betting a lot pre-flop or
yeah,
calling the flop a lot. Suddenly you're just like, "Man, fuck this guy. I've had
yeah,
enough of him. I'm just going to go after him even if it makes like no sense."
exactly. And then whoops, you got aces or kings, and he's just like, oh yeah, I got jacks or queens, and he's loose aggressive, so
Yeah.
they will pay it off pre-flop maybe and stuff like that if you free bet a lot. And yeah, if you make some moves, you'll maybe get things happen, but you gotta know when to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also true that like post flop against a loose aggressive player, people have a lot of difficulty folding like one pair if they have an
Yeah,
overpair. And it's just like the whole thing about loose aggressive style is trying to make like two pair or better and then like put your opponent to the test when they probably can't get away from it.
exactly.
I'm kind of curious, why did you opt to not fire a second barrel on table three there when the ace came off on the turn?
At the ace, I actually thought he called with ace. I saw he's pretty pretty loose, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe it should be as a scared card. But I don't know if you saw he had the queen, so I think he would call anyways. Then I would have to three barrel, but I don't know if I should.
Yeah, well, I think that's a spot where three barreling's probably a good move because you're right that to fire two barrels, you're not going to really accomplish anything. But we have to, if we think about which hands he's going to float the flop with, on a
Yeah,
queen high board, I don't think there are too many ace high hands he's going to call with, as opposed to like if the board was like nine high or something, he can call with like ace jack ace queen because he's got two overcards. But on the queen high board, the only two overcard ace high hand would be ace king, which probably would have three bet pre-flop. So I
Yeah.
think unless he has ace queen, or I think it was ace three or ace four that has a pair on the flop, I think
Yeah.
most likely he won't have connected with the ace. But you're right. If you want to go for that spot, you got to fire all three barrels because he's
Yeah,
usually going to
exactly.
call the
Because you
second
see
one.
his stats, and I was like, okay, he maybe has the queen or maybe the ace, but you're maybe right about he would not have the ace in that spot. But if he had the queen, I had to fire pretty tough.
Hmm.
But
And I mean, that's good. It shows you have good awareness of like when you really have to follow through on a scare card as opposed to just being
yeah,
like, wow, scare card came. I guess I'll
I
bet.
also go through some lines. If I have him on hand, I'm gonna bet the yeah about the I'm going through lines. So if I know he doesn't have the ace, I'm going to bet three times.
Hmm.
Um, this is kind of weird. He checked two times, and
Hmm.
now he checked on the flop and checked again when the other ace came.
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay. We can see if he's gonna continue on
yeah.
the river. Because you're right. It's weird that he wouldn't just bet an ace if he had it on the turn, but also
Yeah,
like so he.
because
It,
fucking low stack.
yeah, those crab
You
stack
often
people
see
always
that
play so weird.
from low stacks. So should we try here with a four bet?
Okay, yeah, we can make it
I
$9.
think I think
It looks like he's playing loose enough, and we do have a
yeah,
blocker, so
exactly. Three bet it pretty much.
good
Yeah, that's
stuff.
cool.
Good read.
I'm getting pretty bad flops with my pairs.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's really annoying. Um,
At least these aren't three bet pots where you're like, you three bet the kings and it just comes ace high, and you're like, come on, what am I supposed to do with that?
should we just fish here with this low stack? No, no need, right?
No point. No point. It's just. And yeah, those low stacks making those plays, it's weird because you're like, okay, he probably should have bet the ace,
Yeah.
and why would he like wait to check raise? But then we got to think, especially with that size, what bluffs
The
will
only
he do
way
it with?
to get money is that way. So
Yeah, it was an okay flop. Probably get a couple streets of value there.
oh, when open ended. Well,
So did the Danes play so aggressive because of Gus Hansen, or are there other influences over there that kind of created that loose, crazy style? Do
I
you
also
guys?
watch a lot to Victor Blom. He has some pretty big re-raises, three bets, especially on high draws with two overs. For example, a flush draw or something like that with two overs. Um, I think it's a pretty profitable way to play um, because many times you will get the best hand to fold, and if it doesn't work, then you like 50% of the time will make your hand and be the best. So
Hmm.
yeah, I like to stay with that aggressive style, but yeah, Gus Hansen also inspired me a lot on that. But that was mostly in tournaments, making a lot of steals at the blinds and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Where it's more important to play really loose and really crazy in a tournament than it is in a cash game.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in a live tournament where if people see you playing crazy, that image is going to pay off so well in the later stages when people just keep giving you stacks and stacks.
Exactly. That's pretty cool.
It's like we said, you do a lot of like little betting, little stealing pre-flop, little three betting, and then people will just give you the whole stack, even though you're not playing for stacks really light. You're just doing everything
Exactly.
else.
Only if you got the hand, and if you got the hand, they see that you have three bet a lot and making a lot of steals, so they will maybe pay you off too there. So I think that's a pretty good style.
Yeah. I'm curious why you didn't raise up the guy's limp with the king nine there.
Here,
Yeah,
yeah, that's actually true. But now it checked, so.
now we bet.
But yeah, that's actually true. When I got position, he slow stacked.
Yeah, and just usually when they're limping in there, they're just trying to see a cheap flop with some really garbage hand. And until they show you that they're limp calling with strong hands or capable of limp re-raising, you might as well just keep raising them in that spot until they give you a reason not to.
Yeah, okay. I think this is a pretty good spot to call um, when it's a full base with the if you get the flush chance or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oof, and kings.
Okay, let's win a stack. No ace on the flop. Let's win a
Yeah.
stack.
That's the only card. All three of color. Unless it's.
Okay, let's go. Is this guy? Damn, this guy's a nit.
I gotta push, right?
I mean, yeah, like it's based on the positions. He's gonna have good hands, but he might have ace king. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And not an ace, please.
Nah, there's no ace. We got one. Ooh, heart. I don't know. Yes, yes.
Woohoo!
Fuck yeah.
That's good.
It always surprises me that people who are playing that nitty, like 2116 is pretty nitty, and I don't know which stats is 3-bet on your HUD, but I'm gonna guess it's like 6. That that they just get in the ace king there, because when he opens under the gun, I'd imagine from the small blind, you're not going to be
Exactly.
3-betting light too often.
Very, very, very strong there, right?
Yeah, so he should. It's because he doesn't really know what else to do. He's like, man, I don't know how to play unpaired cards, but he should be just calling your 3-bet there.
Yeah.
And if the flop comes king high, okay, now that's a cooler. There's nothing he could do about it, but at least he doesn't just get it in against your aces, kings.
Exactly. If he four betted there, he should fold to
Yeah.
a jam, right?
Actually, that's probably if your range is only going to be aces and kings there, the math would probably say that he should be 4-bet folding. Now I don't know if you 3-bet queens, jacks, or ace king in that spot, because if you do, that changes things. But if your range is only aces and kings, yeah, he should just be 4-bet folding.
All right.
And that's a play that a lot of people will use in tournaments, where it's like, if they get quote 4-bet and they want to, but they don't know what to do with ace king, you can 5-bet and fold with it, because for someone to 6-bet all in, they have to have aces in like the early stages of a bigger buy-in tournament. But if they're capable of 4-bet bluffing and you've got the two best blockers in the game, you might as well go for the 5-bet.
So he three betted me here and flops up and checking to me.
Okay.
He's not that aggressive, but I should bet here for sure. But I'm actually pretty curious where I am.
I was hoping he wouldn't do that. It's actually
Yeah,
going to,
exactly.
because some of these nits do tricky stuff like this, it is okay to check back the flop. And then if he checks again on the turn, then we know we can value bet twice, because we're probably good.
Should I just call just to see?
I would probably just fold at this point. But it's your money, it's your game, you do whatever you want.
He could be on the flush draw.
I think he's more likely to just c-bet with the flush draw than check raise.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think this is a good. So he flopped the straight against some min stack.
So we're just gonna bust
Pretty
him.
cool. Now he's worried about the flush. Maybe I should not push this much here.
I think
Maybe he got it.
maybe, but maybe he's got 2 pairs set. We can't fold, or maybe he's just got nothing.
I don't know if I should fold those $4, but. Oops.
No, you're definitely pot committed there.
Yeah.
He would have to like actually turn over his cards and show you that you were drawing dead for you to correctly fold there.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could ever be a fold.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
I don't think he did either, to to be completely honest.
That was pretty weird. I think we'll try here.
So tell me what stats you have on your heads up display so the people watching can know what there is.
You mean these stats or what?
Yeah. Oh, it has them all there on the pop up. Okay. VPI,
Yeah, right now it's pretty. I lost pretty much, but I am running pretty many tables, so it's kind of screwed.
Yeah. I think a smart thing to do if you're going to play a lot of tables would be to maybe spread the HUD over like 3 lines instead of two, so it's not quite so wide and you can make it more compact.
Okay, can I do that?
Well, not right now. You do it after the session.
All right.
But yeah, which
Yeah, I gotta work a bit with my HUD, the settings and stuff like that. You take back. I don't know if I want to push here. I think I'll just give up.
okay.
Pretty failed free bet. I think he has ace queen.
7-7. Shit. Where was the Great Dane in you there?
Yeah. That was pretty bad. I just couldn't imagine he would call 5 bucks and call on the flop to ace king.
Yeah,
Made no sense, but yeah.
we know for next time.
Best to be aggressive when I gotta read. I really hate being at a bad spot.
Yeah,
Just seeing, okay, he checked, so he must be weak. So yeah, let's do it. It's more like, okay, I read he got something bad, and there came the flush draw, or there comes some scare cards, and then I go to push out.
exactly. You're seeing what his range consists of, and then seeing when the right cards come out, how much of his range you can get to fold. And that's the right way to be approaching the game.
Yeah.
And even though like you lost that pot, you put in a 3 bet and a c-bet. It's not like it was a huge amount of money that you lost on that pot.
No, exactly. So in early position, these hands isn't really that good, right?
You should fold it. Yeah. If the table's weak, you can open Ace Jack and King Queen. If the table's strong, you actually want to open like Ace Queen minimum. Like that's the worst hand you want to be opening from under the gun.
All right. Well, I've never played like that.
In terms of offsuit, but like suited hands, you can go wider.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that opinion too.
But if you feel that the people play really poorly post flop and that you can outplay them even out of position, then you can open a wider range of hands.
Okay.
So don't feel like you suddenly have to tighten up everywhere, because the high pressure style post flop goes with a loose style pre flop. So that's all good. That guy looks very loose.
Yeah. Just call or maybe make a full bet.
I think this hand's strong enough to call and try to hit the flop.
Yeah.
If we had like King 10 offsuit and we didn't want to get pushed around, then 4 betting would be good. But King Jack suited, there's a lot of ways you can connect with the board.
Yeah. When he also got a good hand. If
Yeah.
you got something like ace queen or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice call.
Thanks, man. Was pretty tough.
Pot control the whole way, face one bet.
I hate losing a pot. I think that is one of my problems too, especially if I hit top pair or hit something good. I often pay too much off when I see it's some very solid player. I know he has better than me, but I'm just like, top pair, top kicker or something like that. I gotta pay this. And then he got the set or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a really shame.
Well,
So here, when it's just free behind me, I should just try to steal here, right?
yeah, that's fine. You got a strong enough hand that flops well.
Yeah.
Like once you get to the cutoff, you can start opening pretty wide, as long as the button's not like really aggressive.
Alright.
Because you're so likely to have the button for the rest of the hand. Like if you can fold out the guy on the button, you have position for the whole hand, so you can justify having a really, really wide range of hands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I really like to be in position. It's just fucked up when you're out of position and you flop good, and the other guy's just pushing you around.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, so I know I have to like check and call, but at what point do I have to believe this guy?
Yeah, exactly. Um, I'm like connectors, should it be called, at this lower.
I think that one's not quite strong enough. I think
Okay.
I think at 9-10 offsuit it's fine to start defending. And if they're opening for a min raise, you can call with more hands. Whereas if they're opening for 3 times the big blind, you want to be playing fewer hands just because of the worse immediate odds that you're getting.
Alright.
Let's hope he doesn't have pocket sevens again.
Yeah.
That'd be bad news.
Should we go on?
Well, we don't have much
Let's
equity, but
see what he is called with here. Before we saw him called pretty loose.
yeah, so we can try one more barrel.
Not gonna let this one down.
We just need like a king to come on the river.
Yeah. Do you think that's out of his range?
I
Or
think
the race?
I think that's the card we gotta go with.
I think we gotta do this. Can't call it ace high.
No, he would have to have slow played a set or two pair, and I'm thinking with how dry the board was on the turn, he might have just shoved it in over our raise or over our bet on the turn. So I think at best he's gonna have like 2 jacks there. Nice hand.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But I don't know why he slow played jacks there in that spot.
Well, like that, I'm saying at best he probably has jacks. He probably,
Yeah.
realistically, he probably had like
Tens or something like that.
or like 9-8 pair in a straight draw, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's. Oh, a set.
But if we didn't get a good river, we probably
So
should
one
shut down.
pretty solid guy betting into me here. I should just get it in.
Yeah, make it like 9 to give him more room to play back. He's betting into multiple players, so he's more likely to have a strong hand. The board's also really drawy, so he can put us on a flush draw
Yeah.
and a lot of action killing
I
cards.
just only don't hope he got it. Was this? Yeah, this was the guys who opened. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Of course, he was the guy opening. But yeah,
You know, float.
I think this one. Oh fuck! I was like, yeah, I think this one is a call, and oh fuck!
Yeah.
I gotta get used to this software too.
Where were you playing before again?
I played at Party Poker and Poker Stars and what was the name? Bet 345.
Oh, bet 365.
Yeah, that.
Okay, yeah, they're on iPoker. And how do you find, like, in complete honesty, in terms of software and in terms of competition, how do you find that on game compares with Party Poker and Poker Stars?
I really enjoy the bonuses here at On Game,
Okay.
especially here at Bet Safe. That's better. But at Party Poker, you also have some points, and you can, and also at Poker Stars. But there you have to collect some points, and then you can buy some money, and it's not as much as here. I think the Cassis King is incredible. I just got 70 bucks playing 2 days before the start of the month. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think what's good about on game is they'll give you those kind of big bonuses and recurring bonuses, whether you're a small player or a big player. Whereas with Party Poker and Poker Stars, to take full advantage of VIP system they have, you have to play a lot of hands to get that value.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, maybe putting him on a higher ace or the flush draw. But I'm trying to.
You're just putting him on you don't care because you made two pairs.
Yeah, I think that's true. But
Yeah.
let's see this. Good call. Ace 10.
Perfect read, man.
I like my river flop. My river card. Yeah, it's going pretty good. I had some bad days in the start. I think I'm down two or three buy-ins in these first days.
Okay.
I had some swings. I was up a little and then I started going down. Um, had some pretty bad setups. I had aces. I had kings versus aces, and I had queens versus threes who flopped the set, and I had some pretty bad ones. So I was going down, and then I came up a bit, and now I think I'm down two or three buy-ins. So
But with the help of the Cash's King promotions and the bonus, you're not
there
really
I'm
down.
up. I'm just down two two buy-ins, I think. And now I'm pretty much up again. I think this one was a pretty good one. Got two all-ins, and here also a good one.
Yeah. I hope this guy's check folding. Because if we're gonna call his raise, we gotta bet when he checks, right?
Fuck man.
I think that calling.
All the flush.
I think the problem was he not only did he make it 4x, but he just didn't have enough money behind for us to really a have implied odds with the 7-5 suited, and b have enough room to outplay him post flop. So in the situations where people are opening on like a short stack, if you want to call wider, do it with hands that are going to make top pair. The like suited connectors and the suited gappers, those are better for calling in like deep stack situations
Okay.
because it's easier to apply pressure. Against the short stack guy, you just want to be able to make a better top pair than him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I heard that before, but totally forgot it.
Because we got to play differently depending on which player's in the pot, right? It's all about making the right counter strategy for their general strategy.
5-7 stocks. If you just get a 7 or a 5, you never know where you are against a short stack.
Yeah.
No way to flop the nuts against a big stack.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're gonna flop a straight, you want to be able to win at least 100 big blinds off the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like good playing here. I forget this tip 3 all the time.
Well, we burned through our time bank.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. No, that wasn't you. Oh shit. I hope the microphone didn't catch that. No, because we were having the issues with the broadcast, so I called my assistant and I was trying to get it fixed, but he just got back to me now. I'm like, it's too late, bro. We figured out a solution.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be happy, but Christian's happy. I'm happy. That's what's important.
Exactly. That's good.
And like this actually gives me an idea that it might make sense for me to do this session with the student one on one, and then when we put it on the stream, then I can actually like take questions from the viewers and stuff rather than doing it all live. I think that might be more beneficial to the player.
Yeah, I know the idea of live session is good, but it has some bad sides. Um, Especially the thing that you can't support the people while doing it.
Yeah.
Oops, flop the flush.
Dude, you can't do. You had the button, suited three gapper.
Yeah, of course, man.
That's not a good hand in poker or in blackjack. I'm trying to
It's
think.
really
Baccarat.
bad.
There's no game where 5-9 is a good hand.
That's true. All right, we're going against the fish here.
Oh, sweet.
Paid us pretty good off last time. Ace 10.
Ooh, and he's snap calling. I like that.
Yeah. We should just push on.
Yep. Yeah, we want to build that pot.
Sometimes I just want to keep them in, but if the flush comes, then
Yeah, like if you had a straight or something, then it could be okay to like try to keep him in. But even though you have top pair there and a backdoor flush draw, your hand's still fairly vulnerable. The 7 could come, the 8 could come. If he has some overcards, that could come. So think about how many outs your opponent can have against you, and that's kind of what you should use to determine whether or not you want to slow play.
all right.
The more
So,
vulnerable, the
so
more you gotta
let's
protect.
say you had the flush draw there, maybe with one over or something like that. Should I? How much should I bet there? Do you think?
To price him out, let me consult my chart. So he'd have 12 outs. He's about 25%. So we would bet at least
At
a
least
little a
half.
little bit more than half the pot, and you're pricing him out. If he only has a flush draw, if you bet a third of the pot, you're giving him like even odds.
All right.
So,
All right.
but if you think he'll call with a flush draw anyway, you want him to make a bigger mistake. So you usually go around 2/3 pot is probably
All right.
good good middle ground.
Yeah, sometimes have problems deciding how much to bet when I actually think I know what hand he got, but then I'm just like, should I push him hard here, or should I just slow play a bit, or how should I get his money?
Well, if you're going to bet, and it's just a question of what the sizing is, it's all about what kind of draws are possible. If the only things possible are gut shot, you could bet as small as like a third of the pot. If there are like 2 flush draws and a straight draw, then you want to bet the full pot.
Got a free bet here?
Sure. The thing is, like, in these situations, blind versus blind, it's a style thing. Some people like to flat call there and just play the pot in position with a hand that can flop well. Others prefer to have the lead in the hand. Yeah. Like, I can never tell someone, like, unless it's extremely clear cut, it's hard to say whether re raising or calling, or even sometimes folding pre flop is the right move because it all depends on what your dynamic is with the guy and what your plans are post flop.
I find the people here pretty solid, actually. I hadn't found so many bad players here.
I'm gonna teach you how to game select after this session, and
Yeah,
you'll be able to find the bad players. But
there's just been like one or two bad players. Rest is just, Rex. You see him at all the tables and stuff like that.
yeah, well, yeah. After the session, when the students can't see, I'll show you the tricks. Oh shit! I said that they're gonna hear that. Well, maybe I'll have to show them how later.
That's cool.
Because there is something pretty cool about you know how there's no wait list on here, right?
What?
You know that on game doesn't have wait lists, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a way to take advantage of that to really exercise super good game selection. So
Oh, cool.
you'll be pretty excited about that one for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I'm used to wait lists, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing worse than like logging on to stars and you're like, okay, I'm gonna play. Oh, every wait list has 16 people on it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I gotta wait a while.
It's taking a hell of a lot of time. So, should we try with this one?
Yeah.
Maybe getting a.
Yeah. 10-9 suited's fine. I'd rather have 10-9 suited than ace jack offsuit raising under the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Also because people think you have some high cards, and then you can maybe flop a good straight or something like that and fool the people.
Yeah, we're
For
gonna,
like that too.
and here it is. We got a high card board, so we try to represent.
Yeah, here we bet, right?
Yeah, because our range for raising under the gun
Is there?
gonna connect with that. And worst case, we do have the gut shot, and we have a backdoor gut shot too.
Yeah, exactly. So when this low stack called,
Probably give up.
yeah, give up, right?
Yeah, because we gotta think. What hand did he call the flop with that's gonna fold the turn? Nothing
Now
anymore.
the queen come, that's probably his card.
Yeah. But what we'll do is we'll make a note. If we see that he peeled with like a 7, then you're going to start two barreling those spots. But when you see that he had the king and he called with the king, and that's like maybe the worst hand he calls with, you're never going to two barrel there. Because if he's calling with a weaker hand on the flop, that means there are more hands in his range that you can fold out with another bet on the turn.
Yeah.
Whereas if he's calling with only strong hands on the flop,
Do you write a note or do you use those? I see they have some colors here.
I
Some dots.
I write a note if they do something really strange, and the color coding system I covered in my video playing the player. But again, we'll just do a quick thing after the video's done. I think we'll do about 5 more minutes on the video, and then we'll have just a little private recap chat.
Yeah. So when Minra is here, I would like to put on pressure,
Okay.
especially when I got a gotcha.
Yeah. And if he's going to be raising a wide range on the button, he's usually going to be c-betting a king queen deuce board, so he's got a lot of hands that are going to
He's
fold.
still 50% of the time.
Oh yeah, so he's got tons of hands that miss that board.
Should I call here or 3-bet?
I think I prefer a 3-bet.
What?
If you want to play aggressive, I'd prefer a 3-bet. I don't really love calling with the suited ace out of position because it's just so much harder to get paid, so better to play it as a semi-bluff.
Yeah.
And usually when there's a raise and a call, it's usually a good spot to squeeze. Usually if there's a squeeze spot, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
The exception is when like,
Free money. Oh.
but he knew that it was a good squeeze spot, but whatever.
Yeah. It's too good. I think I just have to give up here.
Yeah. And cool thing about that hand and like a pocket pair is if you think the guy is going to 4-bet you a lot and he's going to be 4-bet bluffing, then you can 3-bet that hand with the intention of 5-betting all in. Because, you know, if he's 4-betting a lot, he's going to be folding a bunch. But even when he does call a suited ace, you're going to win 1 out of 3 pots. So your equity is never going to be that bad. So that's a good hand to be 3-bet, 5-betting with if the guy's 4-betting a lot. Yeah, pairs are good too because if they call your 5-bet, they're going to have unpaired cards about twice as often as they're going to have pocket pairs. So even though your equity is pretty bad against the bigger pairs, 2/3 of the time you're going to be flipping if they call. And it's really tilting for them. If you like 3-bet, 5-bet like deuces or something and beat their ace king, oh, you'll get action for months.
Cool. Yeah. So low pairs are good for that.
Yeah. But only if you think the guy's 4-betting a lot. Otherwise, it's suicide.
Yeah, it's waste of money, of course. Yeah, I had a pretty bad one. So a guy 3-bet me pretty much and also 4-betted me pretty much. And then I had sevens. And I 3-betted, he 4-betted, and I was like, alright. He could have ace king, he couldn't bluff, so I went all in, and then he had aces. But yeah, that happens sometimes.
When you're playing against those loose aggressive players, every once in a while they wake up with it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap up the video, but you can keep playing.
Yeah.
So apologies to everyone who tuned into the broadcast today that we couldn't get working, but I will do my best to make sure that tomorrow's broadcast works out, and I hope you guys appreciated this sample of one-on-one coaching anyway and still got your grips poker training fix. So that's it for me and Christian here at the studio. Now, you guys just